MPs will vote on the Liberal budget today. 172 votes are required for it to pass. The minority Liberals currently have 170 seats in the House. Let's do the math. That means 2 seats shy of what is needed. Losing this vote, it could halt the current government, trigger a federal election less than, a year into Prime Minister Mark Carney's first term. For more on what could happen today, it feels very dramatic. We are joined by Robert Fife, Ottawa Bureau Chief for the Globe and Mail. Good morning to you. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
How's it looking right now? How's the vote shaping up?
Well, right now the Liberals say they do not have the votes to pass the budget, and if the budget is not passed, because it's a confidence vote, the government would fall and Canadians would be into a second election campaign in 2025. Having said that, I don't think the government is going to fall. Lindsay, when you're in Ottawa, you can sense when a government is about to fall. That's all they're talking about. The party headquarters are working on election readiness. They're booking planes. They know that there's a real sense of defeat that's coming, and we do not get that here in Ottawa at all. When you talk to all the parties, none of them believe that the government is going to fall, but somebody is going to have to blink, because if somebody does not blink, the government will indeed fall, and there will be an election.
So where are those 2 votes going to come from?
Well, it's a little complicated, the vote. It would either be 2 votes in favor or 4 abstentions. I think more than likely you're going to get abstentions. The NDP, I've been told, at least 2, maybe 3 New Democrats will abstain. There is also a possibility that a number of Conservative MPs may not show up to vote. Perhaps they've got the sniffles, or their computers didn't work in the airport, or something like that, in which case the budget would pass. I don't think you're going to get any opposition members voting for the budget. In that case, we would only need 2 to do so. So I think we'll be watching for abstentions. And the NDP, for example, will be one of the last peoples to vote, so they can decide. They'll do the numbers as the vote goes along, and they may end up, there may be 3 or 4 members abstaining if it looks like the government is going to fall. But the vote is this evening, and guess what? We're all going to be watching it with bated breath. Absolutely.
We do have to talk about the other side, though. So let's say it is voted down. What happens then?
Well, if it's voted down, then we immediately go into an election campaign. And it looks like the vote would be in early January. So we've had this before, where we've had election campaigns over the Christmas months. It's not fun. It's certainly not fun for the politicians or the journalists having to cover leaders when it's really cold and miserable outside. But the Liberals are very confident that if their election is triggered, that they can come back with a majority government. They are doing fairly well polling, particularly the Prime Minister, who leads the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, about 20 to 25% in the popularity. And the NDP is also in a lot of trouble too, because they have no party. They only have an interim leader right now. They don't have a lot of money, and they don't even have party status. So it'd be a really difficult period of time. And I'm told the interim leader, Don Davies, is likely to abstain. He is very uncomfortable in wanting to lead the NDP into an election campaign at this time of year, particularly when they don't have a leader. And I think it's also, it could be the Conservatives have to think about this pretty carefully too, because although Mr. Poilievre is popular amongst Conservatives, he's got very high negative ratings amongst the general population. And this may not be the time for Mr. Poilievre to be pulling the plug and going on to an election campaign.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about as well, because the other part of this story is like whatever is happening in Ottawa is happening in Ottawa. But when you do a temperature check of Canadians right across the country and you say, listen, do you want to be heading to an election right now? That is part of this story.
Well, that's a big part of the story. I don't think there would be any appetite amongst Canadians for an election campaign. And I think they also would want to, just a matter of fairness, Prime Minister Carney has laid out an economic agenda for the country, which is focused on gas pipelines and major infrastructure projects and critical minerals. And he hasn't finished his negotiations with the Trump administration. And I think out of a matter of fairness, I think people would say, look, give the guy a chance to be able to see if his program is going to work or not. So I just don't see an appetite for an election right now. I'd be very, very surprised if the government falls. But, Lindsay, accidents happen.
Yeah, so that's this evening. Robert Fife, Ottawa Bureau Chief for the Globe and Mail. We appreciate your thoughts this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.